Hi there, it's David Lee here for the James Bond dossier, and once again I just wanted to bring you a short video, and today I just wanted to talk a bit about the received wisdom that although there is humour in the James Bond books, James Bond himself doesn't actually have a sense of humour, and this has been the received wisdom for many years, as far as I'm aware, and one example of that is, Fleming giving names to the heroines, for example, Pussy Galore in Goldfinger, and I just want to look at how true that might be and actually debunk the myth, because a few years ago I was asked to write an article exploring how much of Fleming's later books were influenced by the films. It was published in issue 42 of MI6 Confidential. The title was Meeting of the Minds. Unfortunately, if you want a copy, it's sold out though. But when I was researching that article and looking at the later books, I did find examples of James Bond cracking jokes. Initially, I assumed that the films had influenced Fleming, but when I went back to the earlier books, I found that James Bond actually shows a sense of humour there too. And, the jokes might not be as funny, and they're certainly not as frequent as the films. Bond in, Sean Connery in Dr. No, he's quipping throughout the film, and it helps to lighten the tone quite a lot. And obviously in the Roger Moore era, that kind of went a bit over the top with the style of the films, and they certainly had one foot in comedy. Personally, that's not the kind of style of James Bond film that I like, but I do like the one-liners. And so if we go to Casino Royale, the book, published in 1953, the very first James Bond book, towards the end, Vesper tells Bond, people are islands, and she proceeds to tell him how any person can never really know another completely. And after that, she goes on and says to Bond, my island feels very close to your island tonight. And so you can imagine what message that she's trying to give Bond there. Anyway, he lives up to that, because his response is, let's join up and make a peninsula. That is a line you can imagine Roger Moore saying. It may not be the funniest joke ever, it's pretty groan-worthy, but it is recognisably a joke. In Live and Let Die, Felix gives Bond a bit of a ribbing about Solitaire after he notices a trace of lipstick on Bond's ear. Bond's a bit pissed off, to be honest, and gets out his handkerchief to remove it, and he tells Leiter, if you find yourself dead in your bed tonight, you'll know who did it. It's a joke. Next book is Moonraker. God, how long am I going to continue? Right at the start, Bond jokes with the firearms instructor. He's shooting a .38 in the firing range of the Secret Service, and the instructor tells him that he ought to practice with a different weapon so he can enter some trophy or other, and Bond tells him that he's actually really after his money, and it's not the funniest joke ever, but it's a joke. And then, same book, when he sees Miss Moneypenny, who's wearing a similar shirt to that worn by his own secretary, he says, new uniform, Penny? Okay, I'm not going to continue every single book, but Diamonds Are Forever. Tiffany Case tells Bond at dinner that she won't sleep with him. And she's kind of declaring it up front because she doesn't want to drink his vodka martinis under false pretenses, as she says. Bond laughs, okay, and tells her, I was going to suggest a shellfish and hock that might have changed your mind. the combination's supposed to have quite an effect. Okay, may not make you laugh very much, but it's still a joke. And I think it worked eventually on Tiffany Case. As I said, the lines aren't as funny and they're not as frequent as the quips in the films, but they're definitely jokes. And if I continued throughout the entire series of books and read every chapter, I'd find more. But the conclusion here is that Ian Fleming's James Bond definitely did have a sense of humour, even if it is quite basic. Okay, but also when I was looking at this, there's a curiosity, and in Thunderball, there's an example of a minor character in the novel who cracks a joke, but in the film is given to Bond. The thing is, it's impossible to know what came first. In the novel Thunderball, one of the patients at Shrublands tells a staff member, "See you later, irrigator," after concluding, colonic irrigation treatment. Now, that's something you can imagine that Ian Fleming heard when he spent a couple of weeks at the health farm on which he based Shrublands. But in the film, that line is given to Sean Connery. Now, here's the twist. Given the origins of Thunderball, long story short, Fleming based it on a screen treatment by Kevin McClory and Jack Whittingham, as you'll read at the front of the book, unless you've got the first edition, and ended up in court as a result. So, that line may not have been Fleming's at all. Okay, so what do you think about that? Do you think I'm right in saying that Bond did have a basic sense of humour? Or do you disagree? It's certainly not as funny as the films, but personally I do think it's there, and I think it's always been there. Very understated, got to say that. Okay, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to do one every Friday. And oh yeah, if you've got any ideas about what you'd like me to cover, then let me know. Thanks for watching.